So, talk to me a little bit about how you became exposed to, became aware of Glasser's work, um, and and maybe try to give people and me especially a window into what does it look like to start and run a democratic school. I mean, I imagine that this conversation is going to unfold over several conversations that you and I have. So don't feel like you have to fit it all in, but you've talked about how you're trying to advocate for this approach more. So give me a little bit of a primer of what maybe some of those first steps might look like. Just had a phone conference with a new contact, Gino Larico, and the bottom of my cup holder came off from my car. Fantastic conversation. I'm so pumped to kind of have him, um, unofficially on the team. And I think Gino's probably going to be um, an advisor to our group. I don't think he'll actually be on the team, but um, you never know. But just excited to talk with him and hear from his experience. He started a school 10 years ago and just started listening to the students. And I didn't realize this, but before that, he had, it's noisy out here. Before that, he had done a lot of these concepts in the classroom. So, I mean, he's just very experienced with that, and I'm just excited. So there should be a link. I'm going to upload the audio from that conversation on my SoundCloud. So I'll put that link in here, and we'll see what else we get done today. Okay, so I am working on editing the conversation that I had with Gino Larico and out in Connecticut. So some of my editing experiences coming into play here. I've been wanting to start a podcast. This could kind of be the beginning of the podcast. Who knows? So I will put the link for that on here in the description. So I'll be uploading that to my SoundCloud. I've got some music on there. I may be starting a new SoundCloud actually. Yeah, I don't know. There will be some other kinds of things that I put as I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm so excited about this relationship, and I mean, he sent me a manuscript for a book that he's done. It's done. Like, I'm writing a book and I'm like killing myself trying to get this thing done, and his is already done, and he's saying, "Well, I just don't, I want to get it out there," and it's like it's already done. Like, for him, he understands that the hardest part is getting it out there, and for me, I feel like I know how to get it out there, but I can't write the book. So I think we're going to be a great team, and I think it comes down to just following, finding people that you're interested in, and just finding ways to help them out. And I'm so thankful that I'm starting to understand that, and so regretful that I feel like it's taken so long to understand that. So I appreciate, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. Please let me know if there's something that I could do to help you. Obviously, you're watching this because you've found either an interest in me or an interest in self-directed learning. So leave your comments, subscribe, find a way to get in touch with me, follow, connect with me on Twitter or LinkedIn. I actually like the term connect a little bit better because I feel like there's a good chance that if you like these ideas that we can help each other. and it doesn't have to be just one-sided. So thanks for joining me on this journey, and I cannot wait to share more with you. So working on the web development process, I've reached out to 3 people, 2 developers, and well, actually 4 people. So 2 developers and 2 writers. I really, I guess I was looking for permission to do this because I really want to produce blogs and content on the site, but I just don't have the time. I feel like I don't have the time to really focus on that, and I don't really feel like it's a strength of mine. I think a strength of mine is publishing shorter form content, interacting on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram a little bit. So I'm looking to hire someone who is a writer who's interested in self-directed education, and will write on my behalf on the site so that I can have content there. But I'm also looking for a developer who can sort of help me round out some of the tools in the site and help me to turn the site into more of a tool instead of just a landing page, because really that's all it is right now. I mean, there's some links and stuff, but it's really just a glorified landing page. So that's what I'm working on today. I'm getting ready to take some time off this afternoon, hang out with kids. We're going to check out some student art at a local art show called Nickel Plate Arts. They're featuring student art from around the county, I think. It might be the whole city, but I think it's around the county. And then they have an event called Fairyville, and I'm not sure what that is yet. So I'll probably snag some pictures of the student art and see if I can get an interview with anybody there. So I will, we'll see how that goes. Went to visit the small art gallery in our community, Nickel Plate Arts, and got to meet the director. And I was thinking about a social media strategy with a place like that. I know they use a small organization to help them with some of their social media. It's not all of it, but posting events and things like that. And it got me thinking about the approach that's so many people use to social media, which is just like, okay, well, it's something that we have to do now, but they still focus most of their energy on a specific stream of content. And then I realized, and I'm not saying that Nickel Plate is guilty of the same thing, but I just thought about it. And I think one of the worst things to happen to an organization is people that forget about you. I think churches and small nonprofit organizations are tempted to think in terms of like they don't like our programs, so we just have to improve our programs. I don't think that's happening. I think people forget. I think their attention is elsewhere, and they just forget about us. And so if we want to be remembered, then I think we just have to be more present and make sure that our presence doesn't look like ads. So now what that looks like for our school is, I think, has a lot to do with just the relationship building that we're doing and making sure that we're not coming across as an organization that's just trying to get you to consume our content. So, and the reason I came out here, we're back out in our backyard. You can see Noah and I were working on tearing apart a wood pile. This was a new fort that we had built, and as you can see, it's pretty much just a pile. It wasn't really a fort. He was using it to climb on and stuff. So now we're reorganizing, putting those pieces of wood over there. And I realized while I was watching him play, and he was actually working on digging a hole over there, most of the time, if you were to watch me interact with him while he's playing, it would really look like I'm not doing anything. And I think that's a big pillar of self-directed education, is sort of a non-interference policy, where unless we see that a child is
engaging in something that's um, overly dangerous, then we won't interfere. So now that has some side effects. I think what happens, you may get some bumps and scrapes, although I've seen some data suggest that you actually get less bumps and scrapes doing that than if you're interfering all the time, because they start to get a better sense of themselves. They start to become more aware of what their actions that cause an effect. And so I was just wanting to talk about how you won't see us interact a whole lot, and it will almost look like we're ignoring, but we're watching very closely a lot of times. And that's what we're looking for in teachers. Teachers who can be a fly on the wall and really watch and know when to jump in and say, this is against the rules, you can't do this. For example, there's a small shovel over there, and I'm not going to let him just swing the shovel around with anybody around. Now, if it's just him and everyone else is clear, I wouldn't stop him. So there's certain times when certain acts are allowed, and there's other times where they're not allowed. So that's my thoughts on that for now.